All right. Interior, take 2. Okay. Review the outer part of the heart. Make sure you know where these structures are. We have our left for large, right ventricle. We have our left and right atrium. We have our pulmonary artery right here. Goes down into the right ventricle. We have pulmonary veins. We have 2 of them. One right here. Goes right into our right atrium. And we have a second one right here that could either go into our right atrium or it can go out. This supplies blood to the left lung. This supplies blood to the right lung. Out to the left lung, up here, out to the right lung. Coronary arteries. Coronary arteries are embedded in this interventricular sluice right here, and a coronary artery down here provides blood to the heart. You have coronary veins that then take the blood that the heart has used and dump it back into the right atrium. Apex of the heart, down here on the bottom. And then superior and inferior vena cava. Superior vena cava up top here. Inferior vena cava, this little guy right here. Again, you can see if you put your finger through how it comes the inferior side. So superior vena cava, inferior vena cava in the back down there. All right, pulmonary artery. Using these surgical scissors, so they're rounded on one side to prevent any tissue damage, sharp on the other, so the rounded side goes inside. I'll cut along here, like that. They cut incredibly well, see that? To reveal the right ventricle. You'll notice these flaps right here that I just cut through. This flap prevents blood from flowing backwards, but it allows blood to flow across it. So this is a valve. It prevents backflow of blood. It gets caught here. Blood is allowed to flow out to the right ventricle, out the coronary, out to the pulmonary artery, to the lungs. But it's not allowed to flow back this direction from the lungs to the heart. It gets stopped by that. And there's another valve here that I cut through on my way down that connected over here. So valves protecting backflow. Here we're inside the right ventricle. If you look up here, you can see the tricuspid valve. 1, 2, 3 flaps. 3 for the tricuspid. Okay. All right, so now we look at the superior vena cava. Up top here. I'm just going to cut down at 3 centimeters. This happens to be 3 centimeters, so that's an easy cut. I just put it in there and I cut the entire length of those scissors. And I can open it up from this direction. I can better reveal this right atrium. So this is the right atrium. This is where blood is stored from the superior and inferior vena cava. And straight down there is the right ventricle. And I have 1, 2, 3 flaps, my tricuspid valve. You'll notice I glide easily over the flaps this way. But if I try and approach from the right ventricle, I get caught in the flaps. The reason I get stopped there and can't go any further is because that's their job, to prevent backflow. Okay, so now I'm going to find the aorta. Here's one of my aortas. And I'm going to cut only until I reach the aortic valve. So again, orientation, left ventricle, right ventricle. We just cut in to the right ventricle, looked up at the right atrium, then we cut down to look into the right atrium proper, and look down all the way into the left ventricle. Now we're going to cut our aorta all the way down until we hit the aortic valve. Try to be disciplined and cut only to the aortic valve. All right, so here we can see the aortic valve. In our aortic valve, blood can easily travel over the top of it, but if you try and go the other way, you get caught, stopped from going. So this is our aortic valve. Our aortic valve is what allows us glad I do voiceovers for this and not live, because I kind of suck live.